shore of the Tampa Bay in Tampa, Florida. Chris, welcome back to the Green Issue Podcast, my friend.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me back.
Yeah, you are welcome. So you are a marketing expert. You've been for your career. You've been doing this for a very long time, and so we're going to talk today about how we can make more profit in our business, specifically through getting, our ideal customer, how we can attract them in, how we can use AI, how we can use all the latest trends in marketing to really make sure we're serving the best customers who are the most profitable and things of that nature. So let's dive right into it. What mistake are you seeing, Chris, lawn care business owners making with their marketing plan here in 2025?
I think one of the biggest trends that I see, and it's 2025 and beyond, is the idea that marketing is set it and forget it. So many folks, especially right now when you're super busy, it's the summer, you're in peak seasons, you're out there cutting, you're active. It's still important to remember that you need to have dedicated time to actively build your marketing. It's not that you set up a website or you set up your Google business profile and that you're done. It's an active, ongoing thing to continue to add content, to grow, to expand your marketing presence so that you can have a stronger presence overall, so you can dig out from any rut that you may have, so that you can surpass those other folks who are also standing still right now in the marketplace. So you have to continually be working at your marketing that looks like getting reviews, that looks like taking pictures of your work, sharing that on social media. Lots of little steps that you can take to be proactive in your marketing instead of reactive and waiting for something bad to happen to your presence.
Yeah, that's good. In 2025, I know there's so much going on, and we'll talk about social media. We can talk about traditional advertisements and things of that nature. But what place does a website have in 2025? Like how important to attract those profitable customers?
Yeah, and it almost feels old school now with everyone talking about AI tactics, and those are the tactics and avenues to get a new customer. But at the end of the day, your website is still the place that you have the most control over, the place that you own the most on the web that talks about you. And no matter what, whether you get a lead that comes into you from Facebook, if you get a really good warm referral that comes into you, the first thing they're going to do is look you up online, and they're going to go to your website and figure you out, figure out who you are. So it's still hugely important to have a place where you can show off who you are, explain in detail what you do, give pictures of your work, show citations of testimonials that you've got, and a website is the ideal place to do that because you control everything about it.
Yeah, that's good. Well, I know we got a bunch of folks in lawn care, kind of rednecks to kind of slow to. I've been chirping on my podcast since 2018 to get on social media, and 7 years I've been screaming that, and guys are still like, "Hey, I'm thinking about starting that Facebook page, Paul." It's just a little bit more old school in our industry, but AI is really emerging quickly here. I use it every day, but I want to hear your thoughts from a marketing perspective. How can somebody, Chris, who owns a lawn care business, how should they be understanding AI? How should they be using it? Let's chat about AI.
Yeah, I think AI is a great way for people to kind of get out of those uncomfortable positions and to become more comfortable. I think a lot of the times when I talk to contractors about why it's difficult for them to do marketing or social media or all these things, it's because they feel like they're not an expert in those things. And they're probably not. You're probably really good at your craft. You're not necessarily a really good copywriter when it comes to social media posts. But the great thing about AI is that you can off-source that. You can outsource that to this platform that costs you. There are free versions for all these things, or even if you pay for the upgraded version. I think social media is a really good example for that. If you take a picture of your work and you don't know what to post about it, maybe you get this really good before and after shot. Feed that into your AI of choice and say, "Hey, I'm Bob. I own this company, and this is the work that I did. I want to share this on social media. What should I say?" And it will literally give you ideas of format posts. You can even say, I want to share this post on Instagram and Facebook. Give me copy for both.
Mm-hmm.
And it'll do that for you. Help you to generate stuff. Obviously, you shouldn't just copy and paste everything, but it's a great way to get an idea for what you should be writing. You can copy and paste most of that and tweak it to make sure it sounds like you, it sounds like your voice, that it doesn't sound like a machine wrote it. But using AI as kind of a personal assistant at that point, as your
Oh
personal
yeah.
marketing assistant, is a great way to use that as a tool.
Yeah, I mean it's absolutely incredible. And I had a guy DM me yesterday on Instagram, and he said, I could probably read it, but I don't know if he wants me to. But in a nutshell, what he said is, hey, I heard that AI is a sin, and I shouldn't use it because it I forget how he worded it, but some character told him AI is evil and he should stay away from it and all this stuff. And I wrote him back. I got all fired up. I was like, AI is kind of like money or the internet. You can use money for good, like you can pay your mortgage and rent and groceries and like, use money for good things, or you could go, use money for bad things. We can fill in the blank of what a bad purchase might be, but you could use money for good or evil. And it's the same with the internet. I mean, we're on the internet right now trying to help somebody who has a lawn care business increase their profits in their lawn care business. I feel like we're using the internet right now for helping other human beings. Like we're using it for good, while there's some character right now, viewing some dirty website that he knows he shouldn't be on, and he's using the internet for bad. So AI, and you can correct me if you think I'm wrong, but I feel like AI is the same principle. You can either use it for good as a personal assistant to help you be more efficient and accelerate your business, or you could use it for bad, which I'm sure, you know, as time progresses, there'll be all kind of ways that you could use it for bad. But what are your thoughts? And what would you say to the guy that was like he's all timid to use AI, and he was expecting me to say some Christian thing to tell him not to use it? And I did the opposite. I was like, bro, go use it for good, man. This is a gift. This is a creative gift that we should be capitalizing on.
I agree with you. I mean, I think, like you said, there are definitely ways to use it poorly, but at the end of the day, it's just something else you pull out of the toolbox. If you can take out a hammer and you can go build, go repair someone's deck for free. You can go use it to go rob a bank. It doesn't make the hammer bad. It's how you use it. So yeah, I think AI is just one of many tools in the marketing arsenal that you should use at this point to figure out maybe what you don't even know about your business. It's a great way for you to learn more how to improve yourself as an individual, how to improve yourself as a business person, how to improve yourself as a marketer, how to improve yourself as a customer service person. It's a great tool that you can use, kind of like a Swiss Army knife of education and implementation. So yeah, it's all about how you use it. It's not. I don't think it's inherently evil. I mean, there are all those. There's environmental concerns with AI. There's also environmental concerns with driving to work. So I think at the end of the day, it's really how you use it, much less, the fact that it exists.
Yeah, and people get this paralysis analysis with social media, with AI. And a lady came up to me yesterday. I was getting coffee, and she's like, "Hey, I know you're a content creator. What kind of content do you make?" And I was like, "Oh, I talk about a lawn care business." She's like, "Oh, that's so fascinating." And she's telling me how she wants to make real estate content. She's like, "I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that." I'm like, "Well, just get started today. Just post something today." Like I've had hundreds and hundreds of videos that have flopped, hundreds, probably in the thousands of just content. I'm like, "Yeah, well, that was no good. Nobody liked watching that." If because the algorithm tells you the truth. If it's going good, people are engaging. If it's not, it's not, and you learn from that, so you get better. But she had this paralysis analysis of how she wants to start, be a real estate content creator, influencer, and sell houses online, and she has made zero post. I was like, you have to just get started, and who cares if your video gets one view? Like, just start posting. And I think that's the same with folks who have a lawn care business. Like every single day, you have an opportunity to take a picture. If you're any good at mowing grass, like it should look better after you mow the grass than before. Like just take a picture and put it on your social media, put it on your Facebook page, put it on Instagram, put it on your Google business profile, put it on your website. Like I get one of my pet peeves is stock photos on websites. Like put your own stuff up there. But
Yeah, I think that's a huge. I think that the analysis paralysis is a great example there, because at the end of the day, I think a lot of folks are afraid, like, oh, it's got to look perfect, or I have to plan and prepare. I have to have a script for my video. I have to do this and that. You don't. I think one of the things that contractors can think about, lawn landscaping folks can think about, is it's less about you. Make your social media less about you for the first times you post. Make it about what you do. You're an expert. You already know that. You're comfortable doing the job, getting things done for people. So lead with that. Take pictures of your work. That way, it's showing you off kind of, but really it's just showing off a product. It's showing off a service at the end of the day. That's a great way to ease into it. And now more than ever, I mean, you don't have to have a professional photographer for every job that you do. The camera you have in your phone is 100 times better than what digital cameras were like even 5 years ago.
Mhm.
You know, the video on your camera, if you want to take your first video for TikTok or whatever you want to try, that video on your camera is more than enough. Stand outside, take a picture. The sunlight's perfect. You don't need lighting. You don't need rigs. You don't need a microphone. When you start off, it could be really lo-fi. It could be really simple. And then as you get better, as you find that you enjoy it more, as you find results, as you get return on your investment of your time and efforts, then yeah, you can expand. You can get better equipment. You can, maybe have someone else on your team also take pictures for you. You can grow. But to start those first steps, it's just take out your phone, take a picture, hit record. It's gonna be bad to start. It's gonna be rough to start, but that's okay. It's supposed to be rough to start, and then you'll get better over time.
Yeah, and then taking the pictures one step, but then uploading it to your Facebook page. Anyone who has a lawn care business, you should have a Facebook page, not a profile. There's a difference between a profile and a page. So your profile is kind of what they had back in like 2009, that your cousin Pookie can look at your pictures, and your aunt can look at your new picture of whatever. That's a profile. A page is where you could actually have, Bob's Lawn Care, and you could have a page, and then I would only post lawn care business content that you want your customers, current and future customers, to possibly see, because they are on Facebook. So I would definitely start on Facebook. Facebook is so underrated. I had 11 million views on, or like, yeah, views on my Facebook page this past 28 days. I was just looking at my
Wow.
stats, 11 million. And there's no limit to how much you post. I'll post a video, then I'll post a text, I'll post a picture. I just post, and I don't think about it. I just think about, you know, posting. And then I would say Instagram would be another good place to post your stuff. And then uh the Google business profile and the website. If you were starting a lawn business in 2025, what would kind of be your order of operations? What would you make sure you're doing to attract, to convert the customers out there who don't even know that you have the solution for their problem?
Yeah, I think if I were to start from scratch today, I would say number one, Google Business Profile. The first thing you do, get that up and running because that can get you the most immediate leads from people near you. Especially if you're in a smaller community. If you put up a Google Business Profile, even with 0 reviews, you might be the provider of that particular service closest to somebody doing a Google search. So you're going to show up first. And step two after that is I would ask all of my friends and family who have ever worked with in any capacity whatsoever to say, hey, can I come over and cut your grass for you? And then you give me a good Google review. I won't charge you. I'll cut your grass. You give me a Google review. Deal? I think that's step number one there. Step number two then is to make those social accounts, to make Facebook, to make your Instagram, because after you're done doing that job for your cousin who's going to give you a review, you take pictures, you post it. Step three then at that point is my website. Make sure I get my website up and running so that I've got a place that I can link those friends to, that I can link my Google business profile to. I can go door knock and I could say, go visit my website, go visit my Google business profile to see that I've actually done jobs in this neighborhood. And then you've got the social proof to back up the fact that you're a brand new business out there who maybe people wouldn't have trusted before. If you don't have any Google reviews, you don't have any photos of your work, people are far less likely to trust you to do that first job or your first 5, 10, 20 jobs. So beg, borrow, and steal to get those first reviews and jobs, and then use that as your marketing collateral moving forward from there.
Yeah, when I moved up to Tampa, uh, I was kind of in a pinch at the last minute of getting a moving company, because at first I thought I'm just gonna rent a U-Haul and move myself to save money, and so I did that. I went, I got the rental, U-Haul rental. I drove it to where I was living, and thankfully I had a generous neighbor, Chris, and we spent all night loading this sucker up. And I was so tired. I was like, there ain't no way I'm unloading this in the morning. So I'm at like 11 p.m. and it ain't 11 p.m. but it's late in the night, and I'm realizing, like, physically, emotionally, mentally, my efforts to save money at this point, I just want to pay someone to unload this U-Haul, because I do not like moving this couch behind me in my bed and all that stuff is like a regular shape. And you're trying to fit through the door and then you jam your finger on the door and then you start, and I'm like, what am I doing with my life? So I get on U-Haul's website because I remember the guy said, hey, would you like to hire a mover with the truck? And I was like, no, me and my buddy are going to move. And then I humble myself. So I get on the U-Haul website, and what's the very first thing I did? Because they had a list of, locals that will help you move. I went to Google and I typed in the name and I found one. It was ironically the top one on the list. I looked at their Google and it's like, great job. And it's like recent. It was like 1 week ago, 3 days ago, 2 weeks ago. And I instantly trusted. I was like, I actually think this company might show up in the morning. So I called them. I was like, hey, I know it's late. I know it's last minute. Is there any way you can send a couple guys to unload my U-Haul in the morning? I basically said, I'll pay you whatever you want. Like my shoulder hurts. I'm tired. My finger hurts. So he's like, yeah, no problem, man. And he's like, send over the deposit. And here I am PayPaling, late at night, some random person half the money up front. But I trusted because so many people on Google, like a lot of people on Google in a recent amount of time have said positive things. I didn't mind sending him the money. So I go in the morning, 2 guys show up. They look like they just got out of prison, but they showed up and I was like, oh man, these guys look rough, man. Woo-wee. Looked rough, smelled rough. Acted rough, but they got my couch and they, jammed it, into my room and they got it all in here. And then I paid them the rest. But where I'm going with all of this is the guy, the owner of the company, who I never even met because he wasn't there. From like start to finish, he was talking about Google reviews. He's like, hey man, if my team shows up in the morning and they do a good job, will you leave us a 5-star review? And he asked me before I even received the service. And then when they got there, he texted me. He's like, hey, did they show up? And he knew they showed up. But I was like, yeah, they're here. They're moving right now. I was like, thanks so much, man. Hey, don't forget us. If you could leave us a review when they leave, I appreciate it. And then when they did leave, he texted me the link. He's like, hey man, how did it go? I was like, it was all good. Did you get the money? He's like, yep, because I PayPal him the rest. And then he's like, hey, can you leave me the review? I literally got on Google and I left them a 5-star review and said, hey, they showed up with, 8 hours notice and moved me and everything. But he was there's a phrase you used about beg, borrow. I don't know what you said about do whatever you can to get the Google review. But this guy hit me up 3 times asking for that Google review and I gave it to him. And that's why he's getting business, because he has this impeccable online reputation that he backs up in real life.
Yeah, I mean that making the ask is such a huge part that I think contractors miss out on. A lot of folks think that they're being overreaching or that they're asking too much of a customer, but really, like exactly like in your situation, that guy made you really happy. That guy earned that 5-star review by answering the phone late at night, getting guys to your door, and people are happy. If someone's hiring a lawn care service, it's because they don't have the time or the capacity to do it themselves. They are happy to pay somebody to get it done for them. So at that point, capitalize on that happiness. Capitalize on the fact that, hey, we're going to come out, and help you out in a pinch here. We're going to make sure that your property looks great. We scheduled your cut early because you said you've got a family party, next week. Cool. We'll schedule it for 2 days before, so everything will be pristine and clean. At that point, you're making somebody happy. All you have to do is make the ask. If you don't ask, they're not going to leave you the review. You're much more likely to get a negative review organically than you are a positive one, because that's the kind of emotion that will trigger a review more often than not. Someone's mad about it. I'm going to go write a letter. I'm going to go leave a review. But if you're pleased by a service, that's kind of what you wanted. That's what you expected. It's not unexpected to be pleased by a service. So it's super important for folks to make the ask, to say, hey, can you leave me a review? Can you help me out? Even phrasing like that. Can you help me out? I'm a small business. Can you help me out here? And ask for that review. That's so important. And that helps to convert way more folks than just sending them a cold email or a cold text message that says, hey, can you leave us a review? Making that ask, making that personal connection is such a big part of review management. And then that gets you more reviews, and that recency that you talked about, looking at a Google business profile and seeing, hey, there are a lot of Google reviews here, but also there are reviews from this week, this month, the last couple months. That's also important to, number one, to people. That's something that you looked at. But number two, to Google, that's also important. The idea of review recency is a consideration in the algorithm to make sure that you're showing up more. So if you see, 3 company listings when you do a search for somebody, and you see that one company has a bunch of reviews, but they haven't had any reviews posted in 6 months, you're going to question what's going on there. But then you go to the other guys who have reviews all within the last week, within the last month. Those are folks that your customer is going to gravitate toward. So having the number, the rating, but also the recency of reviews is really important.
So good. If you want to shout out, we're live on Facebook. We are live on YouTube. And then we put the audio podcast land, Spotify, Apple, Podbean, wherever you're listening. I was taking notes. So Chris's blueprint here. This is to attract the ideal customer. That's what boosts profits is we get the good customers. How do we get them? Through marketing. So step 1 is to create a Google business profile. This is completely free. Just Google business profile. There's a little verification process there where they're going to confirm your business address that you're a legit business. Go through the Google confirmation process. Once your Google business profile gets created, put as many fresh pictures, fresh content of your business on there and all your information, and just overwhelm Google with who you are, and then immediately start asking for Google reviews. Anybody who you served, just ask them, because that's what's going to build credibility fast. And you just got to get started. Back to that analysis paralysis. Just ask every possible customer, hey, can you do me a solid and leave a Google review? It really goes a long way. And don't be shy about that. And then from there, create your social media profiles. Facebook is, in my opinion, is number 1. Instagram is probably number 2. There's obviously other places out there, but for the sake of simplicity, just start there. If you tune in to Green Show Podcast, I'll talk more about social media in the future and other platforms. But people are like, hey, you think I should be on LinkedIn? You think I should be on Twitter or X? You think I should be on TikTok? You think I should be on YouTube? I'm like, dude, you don't even have a Facebook page.
Yep.
Like, start. Don't worry about TikTok. If you want my opinion, I would tell you, upload as many places as you can, but at least start with your Facebook page. Like, it's crazy to me to have a home service business and not be on Facebook page. And then lastly, the website. And I want you to elaborate a little bit more, because I know you guys, you work for a company called Footbridge Media. You guys can actually help if somebody wants to upgrade their website or update their website. Maybe their little 11-year-old niece built their website on one of these cookie cutter things, and it looks all raggedy. How can they get an optimized website that's going to actually convert people who land on the website into actually doing the call to action to reach out to your business?
Yeah, when you're building a website now for a home service company, for a lawn care landscaping company, it's really important that you have a couple key items on your website. Number 1, it's got to be easy for them to convert. It's got to be easy for them to take the next step of a conversation. So when they get on your website, they should see your phone number. They should see some sort of button for book now, or click here for your free estimate, or for your consult, or whatever language you want to use. But the click now part is the important part. Having the button and the phone number readily available at the top and bottom of every page, in the middle of the page for some pages too, super important. You also want to make sure you identify yourself, that you've got pictures of you, your work. I stress the you part. I think a lot of people are afraid to take pictures of themselves and put them on their websites. But, kind of like with your experience with a couple of random people showing up at your house in the morning from a moving service, it's really helpful and really comforting to a potential customer to see who might show up, to see the business owner's face, to see your trucks, to see you at work. So having pictures of you is super important on your website. Identifying the exact services you offer on your website, also super important. So you want to make sure you've got a page of content for each major service that you offer. If it's something you would travel out for, if it's something you'd book a job for, it should be a service on your site. You should also have content that talks to the locations that you service, the specific cities and the neighborhoods, the areas where you do work. And then you want to make sure you're still adding to your social proof by having recent projects, recent reviews. All those sorts of things should be also featured on your homepage, but also kind of sprinkled throughout your website as well. So having the ability to contact you, to recognize you, to understand your business offerings and your operation area, those are all the major key components of a website. And doing it in a way that people like. Ultimately, you're convincing people to click around and get to that step of calling you or scheduling something with you. But also, it's got to be prepared in a way that search engines, that AI crawling bots understand. And having the structure to your content is important for that. Behind the scenes in the code, that's important, but also just in how you talk about your services, how you answer the needs of customers within your content. Super important. Everything you do on your website should be purposeful. It's not just something you throw up. It's not just one of these drag and drop website builders that you get with a single page. It's got to be much more than that if you're running a business. If you're doing this for business sake, there should be structure and preparation and proper implementation when it comes to how your website is set up, with the goal of getting folks to click to contact you.
So good. And walk us through that process, because you have such reasonable ways that you can build someone a website, maintain it, and everything that you just shared, all of those best practices, it's going to get the website visitor to actually book the call or do the call to action. Like you guys how to design everything that's going to ultimately get the customer to reach out to your business, which is ultimately going to boost your profits, attracting these ideal customers. So what is that process of someone who's like, you know what, I need to step up my website game? What's that next step to connect with Footbridge Media, and what happens after that? How much does it cost? Give us all the A to Z of what it's like to actually work with you guys to build the professional website.
Absolutely, yeah. When it comes to working with Footbridge, we try to make it as easy as possible. We know that you are taking care of a business. We're going to try to take care of your marketing as much as we can to make it done for you as best we can. That all starts with the initial consultation process. You'll have a conversation with Sam, who's our onboarding manager here. She runs basically everything, getting websites from 0 to 60 up and running. So she'll make sure she understands you, your business offerings, all the details that we talked about. At that point, we deliver you a single page design proof. Basically, it's a sample of what we propose your website is going to look like. We'll go back and forth on any changes there, but once we get that approved, that's when we actually start working on the content development itself. We'll write all the content for you. We'd love to get your input for about us type content and all that, but we'll take care of as much of the heavy lifting as possible when it comes to writing the content for you. We get you pointed in the right direction when it comes to Google Business Profile setup and all that, as included in the marketing program. And then we complete the actual web build process. We take our assembled content, we build it for you. That's all included. We don't charge anything extra for the design and build part of the program. And then when your website is up and running, then you work more closely with our marketing consultant team. They're the ones who help you with how to make sure your website continues to operate over time, how to make sure we're updating it appropriately, helping you to develop an overall marketing plan. Normally, the program is $249 per month. But for listeners for the podcast here, Paul has a specific link. It's $199 per month instead. So you get that same program, all the great features of the program, just at a discounted rate for $199 instead of $249. And there's no contract, there's no build fee, anything like that. It's a very simple. You get signed up, you start working with us right away, and then it's a billing month over month. As we continue to earn your service month over month from there.
So good. Was there anything we're leaving out here, Chris, that needs addressed?
No, I think that's it. I think the biggest thing you said, for the biggest takeaway here, is you can't be paralyzed by the idea of over preparing for taking action. You just got to take action. You got to pull the trigger and do it.
Yeah, most of this stuff is free. The Google Business Profile, I mean, it takes effort, but money wise, it's free to start a Google Business Profile. You just have to go through the progression of signing up for it and verifying your account and then uploading your content to Google, which takes a little bit of diligence and effort, but it's something you should do. A Facebook page is easy to set up and upload the content there. My mom, who's a grandma, she's on Facebook. Like, she can figure it out, you can figure it out. And then same, Instagram's pretty simple and feasible. All of those things are free. And then where it gets to an investment, which I highly recommend, is the website. And that's only with the Paul Jameson special, it's only $199 a month. And that will build you a world-class website with all the things that are going to convert the website visitor to a customer with the highest likelihood of that happening and all of that. And then it's maintained. You guys know what you're doing. So it's a wonderful way to make sure you have a world-class website for only $199 a month. So if that you're interested in that, I would click on that link in the show notes, reach out to Footbridge Media. Sam is great. I've met her in person. who's the onboarding specialist. She's awesome. So they'll take good care of you. So thanks again for hopping on by here, Chris. It's always good picking your brain. And as the evolution of AI continues to move so rapidly, you know, we'll definitely keep a pulse on how that's affecting marketing, how we can make sure we're positioning ourselves best to attract our ideal customer.
Absolutely. Yep. It's an ongoing fight, but it's a fun fight.
Yes, sir. Well, you stay safe out there in Orlando. I golfed out there about a week ago at Southern Dunes in Haines City. It's probably like 25 minutes from Orlando, I think. Haines City. I'm not sure if you've ever heard of it.
Yep. A little further south there of us. Yeah.
Yep. Yep. But we played golf out there, so it's nice course. All right. Well, you take care of yourself, sir.
You too, Paul. We'll talk.